You've asked for Van Gaal, so we're giving you Van Gaal, though obviously some of you are determinedly asking for gigs. But sticking with Van Gaal for the minute, I'm joined by Dutch football expert and journalist Peter McVitie. Peter, hello.
How's it going?
Very good, thank you. So let's talk about Louis Van Gaal. What is the current situation that you're aware of?
Well, it looks like some sort of deal has been agreed between him and Manchester United, according to reports in Holland. It seems that he wants to have the deal done and dusted by the end of this week, and then he can concentrate on the World Cup and move forward from there.
So what about the Dutch FA? How do they feel about this? Because, of course, they do have a World Cup looming.
I don't think there's going to be any problem with it in that sense, because Van Gaal is leaving, and after the World Cup, they've already picked and announced his successor. It's confirmed. So you always get national team managers making moves and looking for other jobs when they know that their reign at the national team is going to end. So it's normal for them to look for other options and think about the future. So I don't think there's really any animosity between him and the KNVB about that. And I think Van Gaal is professional enough to if he's got another job with Manchester United, it's not going to affect his job in Holland, especially for the World Cup, which is the whole reason he wanted to be Holland manager in the first place.
Okay, that makes sense. So talking about Van Gaal, what kind of manager is he?
An entertaining one, to put it one way. He's a very good coach. He has a set style and a set kind of system that he wants to use. He plays a 4-3-3, which he will instill in Manchester United. There's no way about it. He's an attacking coach. He wants his team to dominate every single game. It doesn't matter who they come up against. As a man manager, he's generally quite brutal, to be honest. There is no superstar in any Louis Van Gaal team. The system is the main thing. He picks the system, he picks the attributes he wants of every player, and then or every position, and then he picks a player according to that. So there is nobody who is better than any other player or better than the system, according to Louis Van Gaal.
Okay. With that in mind, everything you've just said there, what about Wayne Rooney, who this season signed a huge new contract worth loads of money? Will Van Gaal be able to drop him?
Yeah, he will. If Wayne Rooney was to try and pull another stunt and say he wanted to leave or he wanted another contract, he wouldn't get away with it the same way under Louis Van Gaal. It's really just impossible. There was a story from Luca Toni a couple of years ago when Van Gaal was at Bayern Munich. In the dressing room, Van Gaal said that he had the balls to drop any single player that he wanted, and to prove it, he stood in front of them all and dropped his trousers to show them his balls. And that's the kind of guy you're getting. I mean, there's nobody who is as special as Wayne Rooney, but it doesn't mean that he's going to be particularly unfair to Wayne Rooney or any player. All it means is that everybody's equal. There is nobody who is better or special in that team, and that's something that, as a professional, you would expect Wayne Rooney to take on and just adapt to. It's professional, really.
Okay, so certainly he won't be afraid to get rid of players.
No, definitely not. It's just not, and he's Van Gaal is just so ridiculously arrogant. It's unbelievable. But I mean, he's earned it. He's earned that arrogance and that stubbornness based on what he's achieved in football. He's done spectacularly well everywhere he's went. He's had one bad spell. His second spell at Barcelona was really poor. His first spell at the Netherlands national team was a disaster. But everywhere else, he's been a success. At Bayern, at Barcelona the first time, and at Ajax, it was incredible. I mean, he won the Champions League with just a bunch of kids in his first coaching job.
Amazing. But what problems do you think he could encounter at United?
Well, I think that there is a possibility that there will be disruptions and arguments with players like Wayne Rooney, who might find it difficult to get used to his style. And that's the main thing. Other than that, I mean, the press are in for a hell of a time at Manchester in England if he gets there, because journalists always complained about Sir Alex Ferguson, who banned journalists from his press conferences. Van Gaal doesn't do that. Van Gaal just stands and shouts at people and singles them out, and it's really quite intimidating. He is quite aggressive. So that's a completely different style to what they'll be used to. So he's unlike any manager in that way. He's, as I say, he's arrogant. His belief is that there is nobody who knows more about football than him, and he's willing to let journalists know it, and he's willing to let anybody know it. The other problem, I think, might be that Van Gaal is a coach who likes to lay down foundations for the club to build on for the future. If a club has got a good long-term vision that it wants to fulfil, Van Gaal is the guy to bring in for it. And Man United are obviously a team who like to build for the future. But what Van Gaal does, and what's so special about him, is that he really likes giving young players a chance. Any young players who he sees ability or potential in, he will give a chance. And that's why I think it might be a bit of a stumbling block for him in United, because they don't have such a productive youth system that Barcelona had when they had Xavi and Iniesta coming through. He was willing to give them a chance. At Ajax, it was Patrick Kluivert was one, a teenager, and he was willing to give these guys a chance. United don't have as much of a productive youth system as those teams, and I think it won't be a massive stumbling block, but I think it will be a bit of a disappointment for a guy who likes to leave that legacy. And I think if United really wanted to reap the benefits of what he's going to bring, then they would need to bring in a few young players who would really suit them for the long-term future.
Okay. You mentioned Kluivert a minute ago. He's obviously a part of the backroom staff in the Holland national team. Mm-hmm. Do you think he would come with Louis to United, and would Ryan Giggs still have a job?
Patrick Kluivert, I think, would. He and Van Gaal have a very good relationship. They've known each other for a very, very long time, and they've done really well at the national team. They are Ajax people. They have that same philosophy and understanding. So I think Van Gaal would probably bring him, and he would jump at the chance to be the assistant coach at Manchester United. Ryan Giggs, I think, yeah, I'm very confident that Ryan Giggs will still be there next season, because Van Gaal always keeps on a member of the previous regime's coaching staff when he joins a new team, because he likes to have a feel for the club, somebody who understands it, somebody who knows the players well and the mood in the dressing room. And I think Ryan Giggs, if I was to pick one, Ryan Giggs would be the one who he would probably keep on. He might keep on a few more as well. It's hard to say, but I mean, I'm very, very confident.
If you tried to get rid of Scholesy, there'd be a riot.
Of course.
Cool. Peter, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.